And we are now recording.
All right, welcome to this meeting of the TSC. I think we only have a couple of agenda items today. The first one being an update on the Conformance Program, which I will talk quickly about and follow it up with an email and some resources, and then an update from Deepti on community outreach efforts. Let me start by just giving a very quick update on the Conformance Program. As a quick background, we would like to start a new working group under the technical charter of Presto, whose purpose is to guide the development and implementation of a conformance program, which will aim to help define what is a conforming Presto implementation, including defining what it means to be a conforming Presto implementation, developing an automated test suite to firstly defining what tests go into this test suite, and then implementing an automated test suite to verify if an implementation is truly in conformance, and then creating a process for engines to verify their conformance against this test suite on a regular basis. So the ultimate goal is to reduce community confusion and to help get clarity on what is a Presto implementation and what is not. So to help solve this question, a working group is being created under the technical charter of the Presto TSC. So this working group will be meeting regularly, posting updates to the TSC, and we'll be meeting regularly internally to help define and implement those goals that I just listed. The working group will be available for anyone to join. They need not be TSC members, and any decisions that will be made by this group will be made in the open, either through meetings of the working group or through the mailing list or pull request in the repository. So I will be sending out an email shortly that gets started with a template for the formal charter of this technical working group. And so an action item for the TSC needs to be to review this template that creates this working group and to offer feedback on it to make sure that the goals of this working group are clearly defined and that its scope is neither too broad nor underspecified. There is already a pull request on the Presto TSC repository that has the full text of this working group charter. As mentioned, this is open for feedback from anyone in the community. And then ultimately, once disagreements or once feedback is incorporated, we'll be voting on this by members of the TSC community once consensus is reached. In the meantime, a working group, a mailing list has already been created. Please also look out for the email about this mailing list if you're interested in the details of how the conformance program would be implemented, or if you have any particular opinion on the direction that it should go. You will be able to join this mailing list now. And after the working group charter has been approved by the TSC, we'll then submit, initiate a vote for a chairperson for this working group. And this will work in a similar way as previous votes worked. We'll be submitting a call for nominations, and then after a period of time, voting will begin, and the chairperson will become whoever wins by the majority vote. By the majority vote of the companies who are representing the TSC.
Just a quick mention, I pasted the link to the mailing list for the working group into the chat. It does have like a spam control enabled, so you'll have to request to join. These groups tend to get a lot of spam. It's pretty common. So we have that enabled. So if you want to, you will have to click the request to join, but you don't have to join in order to see the emails, messages sent to it. So I put both links, the link to join and the link to view any messages if you don't want to be on the list, in the chat.
Sounds good. And I think that this was made clear in the last TSC meeting, but just to reiterate the importance of this, the conformance definition will be important, not just in the sense of clearing up community confusion or establishing what is a conforming Presto definition. It's also important in the sense that it defines what features of Presto do we consider to be important features or differentiating features. So some of the details will end up being important. And even if you do not have an interest in the conformance program as a result, I think that most people on the TSC should have a general interest on coming up with the criteria for this conformance program, in the sense that it kind of defines what Presto is. So it ends up sort of like becoming very important in that sense. So that's pretty much all I have to talk about that. After this meeting, I'll be sending out the email that has details on the charter definition that we'll have to take a vote on, and the mailing list, so that we can get started with some initial discussions. And then once again, after we have a vote on the charter, then we can get started on appointing a chairperson and voting who makes sense for that. So that's pretty much all I had. Are there any questions about that?
So Gail, quick question on the two links. The first one is to actually register, right?
Yes.
And then the second one is, if you don't want to be spam, just to view it's public. It's a public list, right?
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so I think the next item on the agenda was from Deepti, giving an update on community outreach, in particular after PrestoCon.
Yep. First off, Tim, welcome as your first TSC meeting. We're excited to work with you, and looking forward to a lot of good conversations, and making this the TSC meeting a lot more focused on, as we've discussed, technical topics, and want to encourage more people to participate. These are public and open and free for everybody to attend. So, looking forward to working with you on making a strong, robust community around Presto. All right, so a couple of quick updates. And I think I had missed maybe the last one. So I have a communication policy that I want to mention as well. So first off, PrestoCon, a couple of weeks ago, a really great event. Thank you to a lot of the TSC members presented, but in general, the community presented. Very, very strong event, a lot of great engagement. And that actually continues over the last 2 weeks. Just a summary of sessions here. We had a good set of opening remarks. The TSC update got good feedback on. There's a lot that has gone into Presto in just the last 6 months since we had the last PrestoCon. And particular highlights were I would say the Raptor X, as well as the multiple coordinators updates. Those along with others, iceberg connector. Those were some of the really kind of ones that I've heard anecdotal kind of feedback on, and I'm sure the other sessions, the panels were very engaging as well. And thank you to everybody for participating. Really great event. 8 sessions, full-blown sessions, 4 lightning rounds, 2 panels, and thank you to our sponsors. Shout out to Linux Foundation. Sometimes we forget that Presto Foundation, with some of the internet giants in there, is a nonprofit organization. And when we run these events, we are careful about how we spend those dollars. Linux Foundation waived the fees for this event. And so thank you, and a shout out to Linux Foundation for that. In terms of sponsors, we had folks listed here. I also, as a goal of the foundation, we have diversity goals, something that part of Outreach Share I'm very passionate about. And we have 2 community partners, Women in Data as well as Women in Big Data. So kind of a good strong showing. We'll continue this at PrestoCon, which is our marquee event, which is bigger, and we'll start planning in a couple of months, and we'll reach out to the TSC for support as well as feedback and ideas and CFPs, of course. So quick summary of that. Just kind of a visual representation of who was there. We obviously had the large internet giants speak, but a lot of unknown, smaller customers who are running on the cloud, like Carbon, for example, speak, talking about how Presto is valuable for them. And so, Presto is for everyone. It is increasingly used by all sizes of companies, and it was great to see that really coming out strong. So, so a little bit about PrestoCon there. Gail, anything more to add to that that I'm missing? You've been on it and part of the team, so thank you for your support as well.
No, it was a great event. We have guys, we were really lucky in our foundation that we have a strong outreach committee that's really engaged and really helps drive this. So I think it was a really good event overall.
Yeah, and one more thing I would add is the attendance. So the registration can always be phenomenal, right? But the attendance is actually who showed up at school, right, is what matters. Very strong showing. We had a very high rate. I think it was like 80%, 70 or 80%. And there was a consistent, 200 plus kind of a, across the time zone was switched. We were in the Eastern US and slightly, Europe, West Europe time zones. And so we saw people come and go. And so it was tailored to a slightly different time zone as well. So it's good to open it up to a slightly different global region. All right, Tim, anything more from your perspective on the event that you'd like to add, or any feedback?
No, I thought that the engagement also during the event was very nice. Lots of great discussion that I saw. Also, good feedback. So I was very happy with it overall.
Great. Awesome. So that's PrestoCon. Stay tuned for the next one. In general, the programs for outreach will continue. Meetups will continue monthly. If there are good presentation topics, do send them our way. We'll schedule those in. Based on this, we'll have a blog series get kicked off. We'll get that going, as well as the newsletter will continue going out to the community as well. So we're back to kind of the routine program. The second topic that I wanted to make sure that everyone was aware is we've communicated this with the board. We've posted this in our communication channels, but we have an official communication policy for the foundation now. This is I think I have it open here. This is very important. We want the community to be inviting, vibrant, friendly, and it's really important that people play by the rules, right? And so a little bit on, not going to get into some of the what ifs, but we want to, we really want to make it make it an understanding community. Try to understand problems with empathy. Try to use language that's welcoming and inclusive. These are important parts of open source that we all care about. That's why we're here, and so it's important to be aware of this. If there are situations where you don't yourself as a member feel comfortable, please bring this up to Tim as chair of TSC or Dipti as chair of outreach. We will look into it with help support from the Next Foundation, and work through these challenges. So appreciate your support on that as well. Tim, that's all that I had planned. Any other questions, feedback, or let me know.
It sounds like that's it. So let's convene early.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.